Hey, Status D, please like and subscribe. Please click on the deck heroes icon, click on subscribe. 100% free. Blood in, blood out. And don't forget to click on the notifications just so you don't miss any amazing video. The only reason why I'm showing you this video is because it just made me smile. It kind of made me chuckle. I'm definitely going to go through it at a higher speed because I've actually done a better video. The link's going to be above. Is how to approach a directionless life, and there's just more content in that to give advice on, which will actually help benefit the listener potentially. You know what I mean? Kind of sharing the perspective from a 40-year-old man who's been successful in his education and been successful in his career and just that kind of stuff, really. But this young man, it's kind of like it's almost going to get into the mountain. You think he's going to get to the mountaintop and just kind of go over and deliver something like a slam dunk. I don't think he ever gets there, but still, he's got something to say. So just bear with us. Let's go.
Talking about why we need to be inspired by people that we work with, especially the older people. And that's really who we want to be inspired from mostly. People in our workforce, the ones that are older, the ones that have been there for a long time, the ones that have been there for 17 years working in the warehouse. Currently, I work in the warehouse right now. I work at LKQ. If you're watching this in a different city or state, you will probably, maybe you have an LKQ out there, but that don't really matter. But what I was thinking about is that sometimes we get caught up in like who we work with and we identify as just another employee that works there. But once you realize that you got a mission, and when you realize that there is a goal outside of this workplace, you have to really be able to fuel that fire with the people that are working around you that have been in the same position for 15 years. They've been working the same dead-end job. You're making damn near just as much as them, and they've been here for 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, you know what I mean? And they haven't even, some of them haven't even moved up the corporate ladder. They've been just working their regular position, or they might have switched around.
Listen, I am going to stop it there. I mean, listen, there's levels to this thing. There's levels to this thing, and I think his point is still made. Warehouse or not, you know what I mean? Whether you should be satisfied with a warehouse job or not. Listen, I'm an educated man. I think everybody should be shooting for the stars. And I've got a trauma that people in the kind of more blue collar jobs, the kind of the first in, first out. And I've seen plenty examples where people of color, just from my own life experience, they are typically like the first out. And it's very hard to get in. So that burnt me and I didn't really want to go down that route again. But nevertheless, anyway, this young man is picking up on a few cues that he has seen. Now, I want to relate that to a different job that I've just talked about now because it just come to mind and it's so true and it's sort of similar. It's a touch on the themes. I worked in the position, just touching on what I said a minute ago, in housing for many years. I work with the rough sleepers and there's a lot of people of colour in that industry. All the supervisors, or most of the supervisors, and most of the managers, and definitely the senior. I'm a manager now. Don't get me wrong. And the senior managers were not of colour. You know what I mean? And you just think, and when you think about it, remember I was in that mix of not being in managers before, and it's just like, oh, so none of this talent pool can go on to that next level. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying about sometimes, especially who they've kind of elected. I don't want to get drawn into that, but that kind of right wing, repealing all those kind of civil rights legislation things, what I'm saying now is going to become all too real. Well, let's not go too far into that. So anyway, all these people of colour were just never going up the ladder, and that's just facts. Facts. And they'll kind of get more middle class the higher that you go, and that's what's called a glass ceiling based on class as well as on other things. Most probably. And again, I was in that pool. I had to leave in order to go up that ladder, you know, and I'm there and I'm very capable, you know, you can see. Very quick story. I'm gonna get back to what he's saying, but this is a very fascinating story. A long time I wasn't going up the ladder myself. The way I would approach it is kind of the way you may think I would go. I just wanted to know the job first and make sure there's nothing significant that I needed to learn before I tried to go up and start teaching somebody else. Because, I want to be a good manager. What else does a manager do before you think about it? Before you are a manager, so what does a manager do? Well, he advises people on stuff. He or she advises people on stuff. They need to be in the know. You know what I mean? And if you don't know, then how can you tell other people? Anyway, it was about 2 years in, but there was a supervisory job that came up. I didn't go for it because I just still felt there was a gap. Kid comes in, right, not of colour, just as an aside. He hadn't even passed his probation, went for the job. Guess what? Bearing in mind what I said about everybody else has been there for years and the makeup of that thing. And none of those people were good enough for it. But you got this kid that comes in, hadn't even passed his probation. He got the job. He ended up being my supervisor. And he's got on now, and obviously he's got the experience and all those kind of things. But as I said, going back to what he's saying, sometimes you are up against the ceiling, which will stop you progressing. That's not the reason to stop trying, though. I made it eventually, but I kind of got to the point, and there's other reasons as well, but I got to the point where I had to accept where I was not going to move forwards, and if I did want to move forwards, I had to get the hell out. You know what I mean? And if necessary, go to a different industry. Let's go forward with the story.
Those are the people that you got to be inspired by in order, and then tell yourself, I'm not going to be like them. Because if you don't push yourself, towards your goals, let me take a sip of my coffee real quick.
Wants to take a sip of his coffee. 100% push yourself towards your goals. If that's in warehousing, then fair enough. How are you going to push your goals, though? Are you going to lift more? I think in order to, and I say this goes back to the other video, perspectives and a directionless life. You're probably going to need to get in there early. You're going to have to just be very diligent and work late and just kind of show that you are 100% effort person. And even then, you might not make it, but you probably will. But also, you need to kind of say just get in with the people who make decisions. And I say usually that's through competence and just showing that you are heavily motivated, and it's also about how, if they like you or not. So you've got to be agreeable, all those kind of things. But anyway,
push yourself towards your goals, even at your workspace, you're going to find yourself damn near being stuck in the same loop. If you don't put no motion towards nothing, you're going to be damn near stuck on what you've been doing. You're going to be constantly just, all right, I'm working here, I'm around these people, next thing you know, they'll go 1 year. Next thing you know, they'll go 2 years. Next thing you know, they'll go 3 years. Because you've just been working, or you might have switched jobs. You might have, it don't even matter if you switch a job. Anybody that you're working around, pay attention to who you work with, and like really just analyze like other people's mistakes, because at the end of the day, the people that do work at these jobs for 15 years, 10 years, and they haven't moved up the corporate ladder at least to get like a significant pay raise or something like that, most of the time, them people is struggling. Most of the time, they is stressed out, miserable.
Shout out.
He's absolutely right. You need to analyze. You got to kind of reflect on your own performance and also analyze what everybody else is doing. But going back to the other example I gave earlier, sometimes people are a little bit disenchanted and they lose belief because they've been pushing for that thing and they just never got there. And there's other people exactly like what he's saying who kind of like be miserable about it and they do nothing about it. You know what I mean? The pipe dream kind of people. Okay, I could do this. Not even on that job, in a million other things as well. Oh yeah, I know I can make money in this. And there'll be the naysayers and everybody else trying to launch their dreams. You know what I mean? And everybody else, trying to talk people out of it. But and also for their dreams, they never actually do it. Just basically what they call like the negative people. So anyway, forget those people. But you're right. Analyze your own performance, see where everybody else is going wrong, see whether people are going up or going right. Speak to the managers, let them be known about your ambitions, and ask them to make them accountable. Listen, I want to get up that ladder. I'm really keen on it. I'm more than willing to put the work in, because otherwise it may well go unnoticed. You've got to have that conversation as well. Absolutely essential. And saying if you do all those steps that they've asked you to do, and they still overlook you, they're going to be much harder for them to do that. You know what I mean? And by definition, you would have done all that you can if you've done all that you've been asked to do. But let's go forward.
This young brother that has the mindset and the vision to understand and to even be curious and challenge the status quo, really, to say, okay, wait a minute, there has to be more than just being in a job for 40 years, 50 years, what have you, and not necessarily having a plan, not necessarily moving up in the industry that you're in. I'm just saying, okay? And, some guys are not entrepreneurs. Some guys are cool working a 9 to 5, and that's cool as well. But I think the key takeaway so far is you probably need to have a plan where you could possibly elevate yourself to get to that next level, okay? To move up in the industry that you're in, or possibly start a side hustle, or take the skills, okay? Develop the skills that you've learned from your job and then apply it to your side hustle, okay? That could very well be a possibility. But again, I think the key takeaway here is to not remain stagnant, okay, and complacent when you're doing these 9 to 5 jobs. It's very, very easy to have time slip through your fingers, but let's keep going.
Most of the time, bro, some people is stressed out, miserable, bro.
You know what? That can easily be overlooked, what Beast Mode just said there. I think, and there's another video I'm thinking about doing, just talking about, and I've done similar videos as well, talking about putting that energy, put it into your work, but also put it into your own venture, especially if you can have those translatable skills, or you can learn something in your job and think, actually, I can do this little bit for myself. And all that money I'm not killing myself to try and make money for somebody else. I'm making that money for me. And I get other people working for me down the line. Every dream starts off with that kind of nucleus of thought, you know what I mean? And then it's put into action and you just never know. And even with some of your failures, people, that's what the people keep on saying, right? If you listen to or the TED Talks and things like that, sometimes you fail a few times, you work out what you got wrong, and the next time you get it right. And even in those failures, maybe you make contacts or, you know what I mean, that will help you make it even bigger than it would have been the first time. Who knows? But you won't. The one thing's for sure, if you don't try, you don't do.
They don't like what they're doing. They just doing it to get by. And then, I mean, when you're a young person that's working in like one of these type of jobs, like a warehouse, or you just working around older people and you kind of making the same type of competitive pay as them, or damn near the same exact thing, deep down they really don't like that. They more insecure about it because they realizing, damn, this young person, they've been working here, they working here now. I'm where they started, and I'm still in the same spot from where they started 15 years later, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They don't really feel good about that. And if you don't put some type of emotion to even the littlest thing, like nobody said that your life is gonna change overnight. Or of course it ain't gonna change overnight unless something like crazy lucky happen, like you hit the lottery or you get some like crazy big shout out or win some giveaway or some whatever the fuck. But yeah, bro, you gotta at least put a little bit of emotion into.
I think what he's trying to say is, if you're at the same level as somebody else who's been in that same job for 15 years, then yeah, what the hell have they been doing? But I think what he's forgetting is, if you are all doing something at the very, 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 very low level, then you're equally not where you need to be. You know what I mean? And you all need to be kind of leveling up. So whilst he's right, he's no better than them really, but he's got time on his side. So that, if that's what he's trying to say, then fair enough.
That's why I'm even putting effort into making this content that I'm making now, putting these videos out there, just really kind of getting myself out there and shit. You know what I mean? It's a little bit motion, baby steps, a little bit at a time. And if you don't, even whatever you find that you want your niche to be, start putting emotion into that. Start expanding outside of this work, and then you're gonna really realize that you got a bigger picture going on, and you're not gonna be like these same that's out here. I think my manager walking over to me now. I don't know why, but you're not gonna be in the same position as these bro. If you stick to your, you feel me?
Right.
I really just wanted to get this message out there, not to be shaming anybody who's in the workforce, or if you are older and you still happen to watch this, it ain't no shame. But I'm just saying, man, keep your eyes on the bigger picture and realize that you don't want to be like the typical motherfuckers that been working here for 15 years. You're gonna be satisfied when that time come around. You realize that you're doing the same. How do you think these motherfuckers still there all this time? That's because they just kind of fell into the trap, especially the older generation. Them motherfuckers stuck in that work mindset. They don't even really be trying to expand. They just work, just pay the bills, provide. Most of them don't really look for nothing bigger. That's why they be stuck. Some of them be stuck miserable.
But what are you doing, my brother? Let's hear what you are doing in order to kind of not be stuck. Anyway, hopefully we'll get to that a little bit later.
So yeah, bro, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna just catch up with in the next video. Peace.
Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Okay, like I said, it seems like he's having an aha moment at this point in time and realizing, nah, this ain't it. Okay, I'm seeing dudes 15, 20 years in the same position, making the same amount of money as me. Okay, barely moving up, barely surviving, especially in today's economy. Who knows what the next 4 years is going to hold, you know, the election, what have you. Possibility things may get better here, but you know, you got to really look at yourself. Okay, you really got to look at the people in the four walls of your home as well. Okay, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, wait a minute, I need to make a change. Okay, if I'm not happy in the current position that I'm in, I need to do something about it. Okay, I need to put my best foot forward here to get a better outcome. Okay, especially if you have kids, you have dependents. Okay, maybe you want to create a legacy, you want to have kids, you know, newlyweds, what have you. Okay, you know, you got to create a life for yourself, a lifestyle where you can, you know, facilitate and have the freedom to do so. Okay, and a lot of these 9-to-5 jobs, of course, there's going to be anomalies for sure, and maybe you have a great 9-to-5 job. Shout outs to you. But for the most part, a lot of these 9-to-5 jobs, you're just scraping by, right? You really are. You're just making ends meet. Again, with the economy currently at the recording of this video, there's a lot of things that certain people can't afford, and you know, eggs, milk, cheese, gas, rent. A lot of people are struggling and living check to check. Okay, it is extremely difficult.
Just a second, I say I've got a master's in economics. The one thing I do predict, I think there's going to be some money giveaways. I think the policy that's been talked about is scrapping tax on overtime. So, okay, you got to work your regular job and then work additional hours. You know what I mean? So there's no real good news. But that, in addition to the tariffs, I've got a master's in economics. Those aggressive tariffs, which will add to the cost of your domestic goods in the States. Inflation's going to be a problem. So even if you do get, say, a little bit of kind of extra cash, I'm sorry about this, by the way. extra cash by having to work those extra hours in the overtime. That is going to be inflationary because it's called demand pull. But also those tariffs are going to be hugely inflationary. That's if there's any kind of follow through. It's going to be very interesting what happens, and especially for myself as an economist. Anyway, let's go forward.
Difficult to get by nowadays in 2024. Okay, and basically what he's saying in the video, you got to have something in motion. Okay, even if you want to stay in your 9-to-5 job, which there's nothing wrong with, possibly elevate yourself. Okay, maybe you need to get a certificate. Maybe you need to go back to school, 6-month program to possibly make an extra $20,000. Okay, apply for that new position, put yourself out there, improve your skills. Okay, once you improve your skills and you have the experience, of course, you'll be able to move around within your industry. Okay, maybe you need to go to a different company, right? You need to have things in motion in order to get to that next level. Okay, and he mentioned that he's starting his YouTube career and putting videos out there, and he's doing that on the side. Okay, who knows? His channel may balloon and blow up, and he may be in a position where he could possibly quit his job and focus on YouTube. Okay, maybe YouTube might be his primary source of income. Who knows, right? But he's putting himself out there. He's putting things in motion to possibly get to that next level. Okay, and I think that's a key takeaway of this video. I've worked some jobs where I only get 30 minutes lunch. Okay, so I got to walk to the cafeteria, wait in line for a microwave. Okay, heat up my lunch. That's 10 to 15 minutes gone. Eat my lunch. That's 5 to 7 minutes right there. And then I have maybe 2 to 3 minutes to use the washroom and get back to work. Okay, your food hasn't even digested and you're already working frantically trying to get back to your desk. I'm just saying, okay? For me, when I was doing that, that was annoying, okay? Extremely annoying. That really pissed me off, okay? Because back then, although I'm still in the gym and I'm working out, but I was really, really into the gym, okay? I was, taking supplements, okay? Protein powders and creatine and all these other supplements. And I was working out twice a day. I was eating 5 to 7 meals a day. So the fact that I didn't have time to eat my food and then have, additional breaks to get my meals and calories in, that really pissed me off. It really did. Okay. Hey, you're going to have other reasons as to why that might piss you off. That was my reason personally. But the key takeaway here is I didn't have the freedom. I didn't have the freedom to necessarily do what I wanted to do and operate the way I wanted to operate. Okay. Because you're on company's time. The company, for the 8 hours that you're at work, pretty much has control over you. Okay, you have to abide by the rules and regulations and their policies, or else you could possibly get fired. Okay, so I don't want to say it's a ball and chain, but it kind of puts things into perspective. Like, wait a minute, I don't really have that much freedom at work. I'm just saying. And again, he is creating a spark plug in his mind to say, I need to put things in motion. I need to have a better outcome because I'm looking at the older generation and I'm learning from their mistakes. Okay, and a wise man will learn from the mistakes from other people. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback, and until next time.
Fair enough. So so the thing he's going to do differently, there's nothing concrete to what he's going to do differently that I heard anyway in terms of his job, other than that he feels he's on the same level as people who've been there 15 odd years, which is the lowest possible level in that job. No plan to go forwards though. Again, look at that directionless perspectives on a directionless life video that I put forwards, and I kind of put the link on very early in this video. But also then, so his other plan is not all the kind of training that Beast Mode was talking about. Everything that Beast Mode just said right now, 100% correct, right? 100% correct. And everything I said, obviously 100%, 1,000,000,000% correct. But it sounds like this young man's alternative plan is the YouTube thing. So yeah, let's hope that works out for him. And yeah, if that's your main plan though, I mean, gosh, there's not. Anyway, the fact that he's got this side hustle plan, all is good. Same for everybody else. Do the videos that you kind of want to see if that's your kind of ambition. I've been doing many videos. Trust me. I used to be a gamer. The videos only, by the way, if you there's lots of gamer videos back in the day, and I was trying to fill a gap doing the videos that I wanted to see, and every so often I still do gamer videos, but now I've moved on to lifestyle, just trying to do the same thing again with a lot of energy and do what I enjoy just because I enjoy it. And say anybody out there feels the same, pick up and do it, or whatever you help to do. Before that, I did an events business with event related suppliers, and there's other people doing lots of different things. I don't want to do all those things. Actually, one of the things I will do these videos is there are some people trying to make you make money in the legit way. You know what I mean? So I will do some of those videos. One of them is kind of like printing up t-shirts in a way where it just becomes, you do the design, it becomes self-financing. Maybe you've seen one of those videos. I probably will do one of those myself and feature it with my own experience and just track over time like the income stream. But anyway, I'm interested in those can-do solutions-based videos of content. That's it. Please like, subscribe. That is Steve, and I am out.